Well, good morning to all the diehards out there that decided to stay up super late talking about Lynx basketball with really loud background music. I'm Andrew Dukowitz, still caffeinated and also now drinking a Fulton Lonely Blonde because we're going to be talking and pouring some out for Shepard and for Natisha Heidman and maybe some other things that might happen in the next hour. Not sure, but Mitchell Hansen, Hitting the Hardwood founder, is also here with me. How's it going, man?
I'm doing well. Thank you for allowing me to join you on this nice balmy, I don't know, what is it, Saturday? I don't know what day it is anymore. Saturday morning?
It is technically Saturday morning.
Oh
and man, for all of the random DMs I have sent you today, I think the least I could do is have you on a podcast. King of B also here, fresh off of listening to the post-game Wolves podcast. How's it going?
It's going great. After talking to you, I took a power nap, woke up, watched your Timberwolves podcast, and I am ready. Not caffeinated, but freshly awake.
We do have some other people that are going to be popping in here. Nicole from Best Damn W show is going to be popping on at some point. Same with Christian. I think his last name's Braswell. Going to be honest, never asked him what his last name is. Used to cover the Seattle Storm, now covers the Sky, as well as Terry Horseman might be intoxicated and wandering in here at some point. Nate Pence has also been rumored that if he is not passed out, to pop on and crash out over Natisha Heidman. But I figure that's just kind of where we'll start. I think that was the first surprise from the Lynx side of it, was just, I don't know. I didn't expect T to leave. I thought her and Court were going to be a package deal. And from what I hear, it's a 2-year deal with Seattle that's going to be worth a metric ass load of money. Mitch, I don't know. Where were you kind of sitting with T this morning?
I shared the same thing you just talked about. I was a little surprised. I expected her to be back, and I think maybe the Lynx had expected that it was just kind of going to be a package deal like we had talked about, and I don't know if they necessarily planned for that to happen with T leaving, but I mean, it probably, I don't know this for fact, but I think it probably came down to money, and Seattle was just willing to pay her more. And you have to draw a line in the sand when you're the Lynx, and you have to fill out, you have to fill out your roster yet. So it's tough, but at the same time, it's a backup position. I mean, it's as much as it was nice to see T here, and as much energy she brought off the bench, especially when Courtney Williams was having an off night or whenever they needed her to step in. She did a great job with that, and it seemed like she was really finding her footing here too in year 2.
Yeah.
But money talks, and especially this year, money talks more than ever. So I'm not saying that's why she left. There's probably multiple reasons why she left, and she'll get a great opportunity in Seattle now that they're kind of officially hitting the reset button. But I mean, it's tough, but it's one of those positions you can replace. I mean, it's I don't mean to sound inconsiderate, but it's or insensitive, but it is something that it's backup point guard position. You can fill that spot, whether it's via the draft, free agency, maybe both. But they can fill that, and it's tough to see stud buds break up. But I saw somebody say on X today that obviously with Courtney and T not being in the same markets now or on the same team, All-Star Weekend is going to be like a movie. So it will be, and they'll still carry it on, but it won't be the same.
I mean, I would add, like, with Skylar leaving Seattle, with kind of the Gabby Williams also leaving, with NECA leaving, like, it's going to be just like, it's literally going to be just like T and Malenga out there right now. Mm-hmm. Like, she's probably going to be playing 30 plus minutes a game. Like, I think the situation for her on a 2-year deal, like, she'll be able to cash in again in 2 years, probably getting an even bigger contract to go be a starter somewhere. Like, it makes perfect sense for her. But Mitch, to your point, like, realistically, can they get a little bit more consistency out of Courtney Williams this year and then bring in like a Banham or draft if they go the Olivia Miles route? Like it sucks because it's T and she's been so fun on this team. But at the same time, like ideally your backup point guard's playing like 10 to 15 minutes a game. King, what are you going to do without the Stud Bud streams though? Because I know you have been tuning in for all of them.
I don't know. I was shocked. I was at work trying, like I was subbing all day today, and I opened my phone and the first thing that I see is T with Cheryl on that first picture on the carousel, and I was just shocked. I'm like, this is the first free agency news that we are getting. Like, just kill the vibes from the get-go. I'm like, I feel like if
rip the Band-Aid off immediately.
I'm like, if the Jess news would have come in first and then the T, I was like, okay, we are like inching into like the cold water of like sadness, but no, like straight into the deep end. I don't know. It's like, it was such a vibe. And I think that to start free agency this way, and like Mitch said, like she's the 7th player, in the rotation. So it's like basketball wise, it's not the end of the world, but it is the end of the world when you're thinking about last year's vibes.
Yeah, the power of friendship thing kind of ended quick. I mean, we talked about it on the last live of just like BC leaving and Masha in the expansion drafts, T going right away. I mean, Jess leaving too, that all of a sudden you're at like 4 out of the top 9 of this team. Like that is tough, but at the same time, it's that's what happens when you're a good team. Like your bench players kind of get poached pretty often. I mean, that's why Chechi left. That's why, they kind of have to retool again. I will say my running joke this entire season after finding out why, or not even why, I still don't fully understand it, but the not wanting Rachel Banham of Lynx fans, that's just going to be my joke all season now. Anytime someone asks who they're going to trade for, I'm just going to say Banham until I stop getting a reaction. So just wanted to let everyone know about that. Mitch, we get it. What word am I thinking of at 11 a.m. Question from the chat, Amanda. Do we for sure have Courtney? I haven't heard anything. I'm not willing to, I don't have anything to report, but I think if Courtney was going on visits other places, the world would know about it. And I think just based off of the amount of promotional material with Court in it and kind of how they're stacking up their season ticket stuff, I believe Court will be back. Mitch, do you have anything more concrete than me just saying I feel like if Court was in Dallas, we'd know about it.
Yeah, one thing that is telling too is on Natisha Heidman's post, and now I'm reading into social media here, but on her post, Courtney said, go out and be, I don't know, whatever she said, basically go out and shine. I don't know her exact words, but that to me means, I mean, they're obviously, Courtney's happy with where she is, and they're both going in their different directions. That being Courtney and Natisha Heidman. But I think, I'd be very shocked if Courtney wasn't back. I think she will be back. And I think she found a home here. She's very happy with Cheryl, the relationship that they've built. She talked during, the 2025 season that year 2 has been an absolute game changer for her, as far as that she just finished up year 2 in 2025. But it was a game changer for her with what Minnesota has kind of built, and that what the culture they've established. And she's at the point in her career where I think she wants that. She wants that consistency, that stability, and she has a starting job. I mean, why would she go anywhere else and maybe risk not having the same thing that she has here? So I do think that she'll be back. I would be very, very shocked if she was not back. Now it's just a matter of what they surround her with and what what backup player or players will come in behind her. But I'd be surprised if she's not back.
Same. Like I would be more surprised that she's like, I would be more surprised if she left than I would about T leaving.
Yeah.
I think the only players I would be more surprised is like Fee or K-Mac if they just pulled a complete Yui right now and left. Like there's too much writing on the wall that she's back. And again, like if Court was doing something, we would all know about it because Court does stuff very loud.
Yeah.
Christian, do I have you muted? Hold on, help unmute. There we are. Nope, Christian, you have yourself muted.
Yes, I did, my man. I didn't want to just jump in. You know, how you guys doing?
Good. How are you?
Christian, we just got over our in memoriam of Natisha Heidman, talking a little Courtney Williams right now. How's your free agency been so far? Are you as stressed as everyone else?
Well, it's officially 1:14 on the East Coast, and we don't have any official signings. So, no, it's been pretty slow, honestly.
I'm going to be honest. It would be on brand for the W if they were just like, whoops, we meant that it was like starting free agency time was 12 West Coast or noon and not 12 a.m. It's why we love it. It never makes any sense. King, I do want to ask you, though, about just Court. Like, from a fan's perspective, I feel like Court has a very divisive Lynx fan relationship where a lot of people are really hoping they go out and upgrade over her. I tend to be more in the, like, she's maybe the fourth best point guard in the league. Like, you're probably not getting Sabrina. Like, Court's fine. But where are you kind of sitting at if Court is coming back, as we kind of think?
I love Courtney Williams. Like, watching her jump shot is literally one of my favorite things in the WNBA because my husband keeps pointing out that the ball never like rotates. It just like goes straight, but just her form. And it is literally my favorite thing to watch. And then her hustle, and, you know, you talk about it and the team talked about it, how like she is Dory and kind of like forgets all the bad things. And like, you know, we have players on the Wolves that are not like that they do take a lot of things to heart and then affects their next possession or their next game or, you know, fouls and things like that. And you don't have that with Courtney because things happen and then the next possession is a new experience. And you need someone like that to have that mentality of like, whatever happens, you can't get under my skin. I think that's very important. And, you know, she talks a big talk and other people talk at her, but it doesn't seem to faze her, which like being that ice cold on the court is something that like every team needs. And yes, people can have bad games and you know, terrible turnovers, and we see that with every player, but having someone with that grit of coming in and every possession to be a new experience of like, and it's not going to affect me, I think is most important.
I think just her relationship with Cheryl is probably the most important thing. Like Cheryl's offense, I know I say it pretty often, but like everything is the point guard in her offense. Like Fee's the best player. Lan has a ton of responsibility. K-Max scores a lot of points, but like every possession starts with the point guard, starting that pick and roll, kind of diagnosing what's going on and then going from there. Like if K-Max just got, or if Court's just like gone and now T's gone, like that's almost like losing like 3 or 4, like 2 starters, because then you're training someone else in on like how to run this offense. Again, like Court, I think fits really well. Christian, I did want to ask you though, because you're more on the outsider perspective here. Like, what are your thoughts on the Lynx moving on from T and kind of sticking with Courtney Williams moving forward?
Well, for one, I'm not of the mind that you just get rid of a player because you didn't win a championship, you know, considering guard play wasn't one of the main issues why Minnesota didn't really get as far as they could have won last year or didn't win the year before. I think that's at the post group, you know. Hopefully Dorka comes back. I'm not sure what else the plan is going to be at that pick for number 2 in the draft. Hopefully that is a big, I think they can still get more guard depth in free agency. I mean, there's still so many names that we haven't seen signed. But I do get kind of annoyed when people are saying, "Oh, well, replace such a player with this player," and it's like, well, for one, what guard are you going to get that's better than Courtney Williams for this team right now? That's ready to win right now.
Yeah,
she's one of the most experienced guards in the league. Like, the jumper is still as pure as it's ever been. The efficiency is still there. I'm just trying to wonder, what are you going to replace that's going to give you the same result, if not better? And there aren't that many guards in the league that can give you that for that price point.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's exactly it. Like, if Sabrina's going back to New York, if Plum's going back to LA, like,
you don't get it.
You're kind of out. Like, Skylar Diggins, I know she's been a name, but like, I don't know. I think they're pretty comparable. Like, it's just kind of a matter of like what you prefer stylistically. Mitch, I do want to swing it back over to you though. We haven't heard from you talking in a little bit, and it looks like you're falling asleep.
I'm getting there.
On Courtney or Natisha?
No, I was just kind of going off the point that we were just talking about too. I view it very similar, this situation, to when teams or organizations fire head coaches. Yeah, if you want to fire a head coach, you got to know who you're going to hire after that. That's the same thing with Courtney's position. And you need to have somebody that's better too. And I just don't think there's anything better right now, like a better fit. That being skill set and personality wise, just culture wise, all of the above, than Courtney. And also, she enjoys being here. She likes being here. And you could bring her back and you could still add somebody to mix in with her. It's not like it's Courtney or somebody else. It can be an and. I mean, 2-3 years ago, Courtney was playing off ball, and she's been primarily a point guard these last 2-3 years. So
certainly could be Rachel Banham.
Right. Yeah.
Hey, she basically lives with Fee already, right? So
yeah, she does. She was at the UConn games with Fee, or the Final Four game. But I mean, it's there's multiple areas that the Lynx could go with this, and I think that Courtney Williams will be in that mix regardless of what role she's in or where she is in the rotation. I still think it'll be as starting point guard, but they have the ability. If you have players that you can bring in and you want, let's say Skylar Diggins-Smith or Skylar Diggins, my apologies. Let's say she wants to come to Minnesota. You could always make it work. Like, if you're bringing in talent like that, you can make it work. It's not that you have
just don't bring any balloons to the practice facility.
Well, that's true. I think Cheryl's gonna be walking around with a knife to pop balloons from here on out. But
at some point,
we're not doing balloons for celebrations anymore. Yeah.
I don't know if it'll be, depending on how free agency goes and how happy Cheryl looks at training camp. At some point, I will be asking her about Balloon Gate, and I
have to, right?
It's priceless as I think it's going to be, because either she's going to yell at me or say something very charming, and both would be great for my career. Let's talk a little bit of Shepard here, though, because she's the other one that already has come out, going to Dallas, 3-year deal. I've also heard it's for a metric ass load of money, which, like, good for her. Mm-hmm. She is a starting center in the WNBA. There's not a doubt in my mind about that. Pairing her with Paige, just from like a playmaking big and guard standpoint, makes a ton of sense. I mean, if they go out and get Betts, you have a center now that can start the season, and you can kind of ease Betts in. If they get Fam, you have somebody that's able to kind of, while she's going through the growing pains of being a teenager in the WNBA. And if they get Fudd or Miles, like, you just have an option. King, I'm going to throw it over to you. Like, kind of what are your thoughts of them similarly, like, moving on from Shepard?
I think it just comes down to money, right? You can't pay everyone. And with like unrestricted free agency, like, you can't even make a match for that person to come back. And she does deserve all the money. And she was on a TikTok live talking about, like, I'm going to go wherever they want me. And I guess probably Dallas gave her a bigger chunk of money than the Lynx. The Lynx could. So that makes me question, like, what are the Lynx doing if they're not like paying Jess and paying T who they're paying? That's what pins and needles are for. But like she looked so awesome last year. I really enjoyed watching her. So I'm glad that she's getting paid, but my question is, who are we paying?
Sneaky, underrated, really funny person too. Like I was not familiar with Jessica Shepard's like stand-up routine until like I started talking to her last year, and it was like, oh, you're actually like very funny. So I think Wings fans are going to be, I mean, honestly, like they're going to love her as a person, but also behind the scenes and like from a playing aspect. I mean, Mitch, King had kind of mentioned it, like if you're not paying Jess, kind of who are you paying at the center? Land's been pretty quiet, similar to Court. I'll be honest, I have heard nothing about Land. I know yesterday there was a little bit of smoke about like maybe New York being interested. Everyone and their mother seems to say Indiana, but like that's weird. I don't know. Any feelings on Land at this point, Mitch?
I think that losing Jess Shepard increases the likelihood that Land returns. I've thought all along that she's going to return. Just knowing and hearing her comments from this past season of just how much Minnesota means to her and how, Cheryl in the Lynx organization kind of saved her career and turned it around. Like that stuff carries a lot of weight when players are considering maybe Minnesota or another team. I think that her comments that we heard earlier, or maybe earlier this week, I don't know, days are all blending together at this point, but whenever she made her comments recently, I think that that's more of a negotiation tactic. It's her kind of playing hardball and seeing what she can get money wise. Like I said, I thought all along that I think she's going to be back. I still think that's the case. I think if she, I'll say that I think that it's the fact that we haven't heard anything from either her or Courtney, that being any rumblings on them visiting other teams, whatever, that's a very good sign for Minnesota. That means that they're maybe not visiting other teams and they're just kind of waiting things out. But I do think she's back. I think Dorka will come back this year. If you're looking at those two, yeah, they got to add to that group. They have to add some size, but especially after losing Masha, I thought if Jess left and you had Masha kind of fill into that spot, that they'd be all right. But now you're without both of them, so they do have some question marks at that spot. There's plenty of question marks because they have like a person and a half signed, but I think that they have some work to do, but I don't know that I have all the faith in the world in Cheryl. She plays chess when everybody else is playing checkers, so she's got some stuff up her sleeve.
Yeah, I can't remember who said it, but like if you're not paying Jess Shepard, you're not paying T, you have to pay somebody, right? And I mean,
right.
No, you're gonna pay Land. She's arguably the top 5 center in this league.
Yeah.
She's a D point. So I think, with all that said, Cheryl doesn't let her walk out the door, man. No. Right? Like you can't afford that. You're already missing fee until like what, almost All-Star break. Like
I think Cheryl is a very transparent person with her players. Like I'm sure Cheryl had a conversation of like, hey, we're bringing in NECA and Balloon Gate is going to happen. And like, I'm sure that does make Land feel a certain way, right? I think anyone, you just went DPOY and then you hear that you might be replaced by the person that robbed Minnesota of a ring a decade ago, like sucks, right? But I think when the dust settles, like I still firmly believe like Land's going to be the second highest paid player on this team. Like I think Fee gets the max and then Land's next, and then probably Court and then K-Mac. But To your point, Christian, like it's a top 5 center. It's really hard to just pass up on a top 5 center in the league and just like move on from that.
Right.
That being, and to your other point, I mean, who are you going to pay?
You have to pay somebody.
That's why like New York needs to like cut it out, because I'm like, you're not going to pay Stewie and Sabrina and JJ and Lan. Like, you're not going, like, Lan wouldn't get the same amount of money when she's like the 4th highest. Like, how much money could they give her if they want to give, you know, Stewie max contracts and or Sabrina and JJ and like now Lan too? So New York needs to take a seat.
Take a pick at the win. It's like, well, I can make the max almost, if not a little bit over the max in Minnesota, and still compete. Like,
right.
Yeah. I mean, it is, and like it is going to be tough to try and figure out how they're going to get everyone. I do think, Mitch, to your point, it's a very good sign that you're not hearing anything about Lan right now.
Yeah.
Like if she was taking visits someplace, it would get leaked. Like they're just, Minnesota's kind of the exception. Like nothing comes out of that front office because there's probably only 3 people that know what's happening in that front office. And if someone leaked something, the other 2 would be murdered. So like there's just incentive. Jeremy, I did see your chat earlier that you're first time in the stream here. Welcome. Happy to have you. Lan getting paid more than K-Mac. I would almost sign. I think K-Mac is one of the worst negotiators in the history of this free agency. Getting up shots at Mayo Clinic Square every day. Like, I don't know, man. she might just be taking like a sweetheart deal because she wants to stay with the Lynx. Like I was kind of baffled by that all week of just like, oh, you're like there now. Okay.
So you guys know she's playing for Fenerbahce.
The ruptured eardrum.
Yeah,
exactly.
I mean the ruptured eardrum I'm not too worried about. Like it's just you throw a tube in there, wait for it to heal a little bit. I assume she's probably good to go by the end of the month. I think it's more so Fenner had to come out and say something about it of just like why she's not there. I think if Fenner wasn't playing for something, none of us would ever know that she's injured and like she'd just be here for training camp, which Christian, any moves that have like particularly surprised you so far from this? I know you're a Storm writer. You're following the Storm. How are you feeling, man?
I mean, honestly, I haven't been on the Storm beat in about maybe like going on a year almost, right? And it's funny because I've been on there for maybe about 2 years before that. And then everyone always still considers me a Storm beat writer. It's hilarious, man. Honestly, this was expected for Seattle. I knew this was going to happen. Like someone told me, but this is going to happen, right? NECA and Skylar, they came to Seattle for Noel Quinn. Noel Quinn gets fired or told that, you're not coming back next year. Oh, yeah, they're going to leave. That was their main reason. They said it in the introductory press conference. Hey, I'm here for Noel Quinn, and, Pokey Chapman and Ebony Hoffman, which is really, the only all-black female coaching staff in the league. So that gets dismantled. And for NECA, it's like, well, where else am I going to go? I'm not going to put a whole New Jersey. I'm going to go back to LA. For Skylar, her family is in the Midwest. I don't know if you guys remember, but last year or 2 years ago, when she first made her return back to the W, there were rumors that she was going to Chicago, like those were pretty prominent, but they didn't have a facility. Chicago's front office is Chicago's front office. So, too many negatives at play for a guard that wants to win right now, right? But, I think Roberta had a tweet earlier today or yesterday about Skylar possibly going to Chicago. And, I don't think that's far out of the realm possibility, considering they have a new facility that's coming, I think, at the end of this year or beginning of next spring or whatever. I'm a little bit biased because I'm a Chicago native, but it's the greatest city in the world. So I don't understand why she wouldn't want to. Her family is in South Bend. South Bend is maybe a 2-hour drive from Chicago with bad traffic, So I can see that. But for me, for Seattle, the future has always been, for the last year and a half or so, the feature has always been three people: Dominique Malonga, Jordan Horston, Mackenzie Holmes, and who else you could find to go out there after that. That's your core. As far as Gabby Williams, I mean, I didn't think Gabby was going to come back. Considering this team might not win anytime soon. They're going to be fun. They're going to win some games. They're not going to compete for a championship anytime soon. And I like Sonia Rahman. I think that the job that she did in New York was kind of underrated because she was the real, players coach, connecting the players to the court and the exits and those things of the nature that the head coach doesn't necessarily have their hands on from the day-to-day operations like that, things like that. So I think Seattle's going to be really good. It's just going to take time. But losing all of those events at once, for a team that's always competing or always trying to win a championship, so that's what Seattle fans are known for. It's going to be rough for them. But I think they'll be fine knowing they have Dominique Malonga, Jordan Horston, Mackenzie Holmes, Zaya Cook, a lot of good young talent to possibly do something,
Oh, for sure. Like it's rebuilds suck, but at least you have like the blue chippers to give you like hope that it's going to turn around fairly quickly. Mitch, I'm going to boot you out of here at some point to get Nicole in, but I do want to ask you kind of parting thoughts. Yeah, Fee's back, right? Like that's just a lock. Mac's back. We both said like Court, be very surprised. Lan, I think you and me would both bet that she's back.
Mm-hmm.
Like, do you think they add another starter to that five-some, or do you think it's draft and try and get Dejanay?
I do think that they're gonna try like hell to get a starter, a starting caliber player. Whether that'll happen or not, I'm not sure, but they have been and they will continue to try and do so. I will know much more in the next like probably 2 days, day or two even. But I do think that their plan right now is to add somebody into the starting lineup to take place of the Bridget Carleton role. And I do think that it's somebody other than a player that was on the roster in 2025. Initially, I know you and I have talked about, Andrew, about maybe Dejanay Carrington moving into that role. I think it's more likely that it'll be somebody else. I don't know exactly who that will be as of now, but there's a bunch of names that are floating around as Minnesota is trying to look into or kind of go after. One of which was not playing that role, but Nneka Ogwumike. That was a player they were obviously going after. I do think that they're gonna add somebody that will make an impact, whether it's in the starting lineup or not. It's that they have to. I mean, you lost too much production and too many scorers to not fill that. So they'll fill it in free agency, and then the draft is tricky because I could honestly see them going multiple routes. Like they could honestly go 3 different routes, and I know that's kind of a cop-out answer, but they could legitimately do that. You could go big. I think backtrack a little bit. I think it ultimately relies on who is available, who Dallas takes at 1, and I think the rest after that it's whoever's available at 2. I know Minnesota will have their top player. If Dallas takes that player, they're going to go another route. They're going to pivot and maybe target a different position. But I mean, you could go big and you could go, OFAM if you want somebody right now, Lauren Betts. I've said, throughout the offseason that I love AZ Fudd. I think she's a win now type of player, or she could produce right now and come in and be a part of a talented team. Olivia Miles is intriguing too. I'm worried about her defensive, that side of the floor for her. And especially knowing how much Cheryl Reeve values that side of the side of the court. But, you look at, let's say, hypothetically, they add AZ Fudd. I mean, that's if you add, let's say you even re-sign Dejanay Carrington and you add AZ Fudd into the role or into the mix, that's still a solid plan B for losing Bridget Carleton in the expansion draft. But I think right now, Minnesota's eyes are on the prize. They're much higher than that. Whether that comes down, we'll see. But It will. I do think that the players you just had mentioned, Fee, K-Mac, I still think Lan, Court, I think they're all back, and we'll see what Minnesota surrounds them with. They have the cash to do so now, so I think they're gonna do all they can.
And like the Gabby Williams stuff has been circulating all day from random admins going rogue and making fake websites to NBA countdown hosts saying she's linked here, to you and Doogie talking about it earlier, to me putting out some fanning the flames of chaos as well. Like,
did you really reach out to Lynx PR for that?
So I've been texting Lynx PR today, just being like, what the fuck is going on?
Not this guy
like,
again, goddammit.
What are we doing? Like, are we gonna have Balloon Gate and then the next day Lynx just like accidentally update their webpage? Like, what are we doing? And their answer was like, no, that's not on us. That's like insane. And then like it legitimately ended up getting taken down. It sounds like someone might be in trouble for that one, but like
someone got fired for sure.
Yeah, like I am very sure it wasn't from the Lynx side of it, because they don't have a ton of people that I think can do that. But like, it sounds like somebody was playing around with templates, made like a mock thing, and then forgot to take it down, which like, woof. Not during free agency, please. Especially when like there is legitimate interest in Gabby Williams. Yeah. Like, it'd be one thing if it was like a different player they had no interest in, but like, yeah, I was more just like reaching out of like, hey, is this an actual thing? Because this is obnoxious. And two, like, can we go one day without something insane happening, please?
Like in the same week, like Jesus, man, what's in the water up there with the 2,000 lakes?
Balloon Gate and then website gate. Like, what are we doing? Mitch, any parting thoughts though? I'm going to get you off the screen and throw Nicole in here for you.
No, I was just going to say on the Gabby Williams thing, I know that it's not just this offseason. Minnesota's been a fan of hers since, for years. So I know that there's a connection there. There's interest there. I know she has plenty of interest on her side with other teams too. So it'll end up probably being about money, as that'll be the story of the offseason. But, yeah, Minnesota's definitely trying to go after her, and we'll see what ends up happening with Gabby Williams as well as the rest of the roster. But yeah, this is what we wanted. This is what we wanted for agency. This is what we wanted. So here it is. But no,
I've also heard nothing on Natasha Cloud. But if Tosh Cloud wants to come join the Lynx, like, sign me up immediately. That would be a dream. Court and Tosh on the same. Oh, I'd be like in basketball heaven.
Oh man!
All right, Mitch, appreciate you. I'll catch you later.
Right, see you guys. Have a good one.
Bye. And I've said before, I think I told you, Andrew, in one of your comments, like, I need to see.
Well, I'll just do it like this.
Recruiting video that the Lynx made for NECA, like that, someone needs to link that if that exists. I didn't know that was a thing until I listened to Pablo Torre over the summer, and they released the Knicks trying to recruit Kawhi, which is one of the most hilarious things that I've ever seen. So I need the NECA recruitment video. And who was playing NECA in it?
Does it start with Cheryl calling her a flopper?
I mean, Cheryl is relatively petty, so she fits in well with the Minnesota culture. Christian, I'm going to do the same with you, unfortunately, and throw Terry in here. But Christian, any parting thoughts? Anything you're hoping for? What's on your mind before I swap you out for Terry?
Honestly, I'm just happy to see WNBA players getting paid.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, Kira.
I can't hear anything you guys are saying right now. This is crazy. It's so crazy.
I'm gonna mute Nicole here while she is figuring that out. Christian, continue cooking.
Yeah, I'm just happy to see WNBA players getting paid like professional athletes. Like, at the end of the day, that's really what this is about. I'm happy to see players that have, been in the league for years now finally see, their just due as far as financial payment. And also just, a lot of the movement that we're seeing. We're seeing 80% of the league as free agents, around maybe like 40% is still free agents. So we're talking about some perennial all-stars. So I think we're still going to see a lot of excitement over the next couple of days and then going into the draft. But like you said, this is what we asked for, right? We asked for content. We asked for stuff to talk about. So here we are.
I mean, I'm going to be honest. Seeing WNBA players getting deals and it's getting leaked of 3 years, 1.8 million has been most joy I've gotten in probably a year. It's just been awesome seeing actual real salaries that these people can make a living off of and have families with and enjoy an actual life instead of having to play 6 months in the US, then going to Serbia and then doing a weird shoe deal just to pay their mortgage. I hear you. It's just been awesome. But Christian, thanks for hopping on with us. What's that?
We could have had this CBA a little bit sooner, if there wasn't a 6-month gap between proposals. But hey, we're here. We're here.
They eventually did lock themselves in a hotel room
in
lobby,
Manhattan,
wherever they did. But yeah, hey, Christian, man, I appreciate you coming in here. I'm going to swap you out, but we'll be doing this again this year. Appreciate you, man.
Appreciate y'all.
Okay, Terry Horseman from the 9 and hitting the hardwood and future Lynx book author.
What's up? Thanks for having me.
Man?
It's going great on in the hour after midnight here in the middle of the free agent frenzy, but happy to be here. Still waiting for something big to happen for the Lynx, but it's gonna happen, Lynx fans. So just stay tuned, stay locked. You're gonna have a reason to celebrate soon. I can feel it.
It's gonna be fun. Nicole, I presume you can hear us because you're nodding now.
I can, yes. Yeah, that was so crazy. I think it was my headphones. When I finally got added to the stage, it did some glitch. But I'm here now. What's going on?
Hey, we are here. We're all together. We already talked about T leaving. We already talked about Jess leaving. So now I think we're just into reckless speculation to take a Score North term.
Perfect.
I mean, Nicole, I'll ask you first because you've been covering Lauren Betts all season. Mm-hmm. What do you think about Betts joining the Lynx? Again, assuming kind of we've talked about, Court, K-Mac, Fee, and Lan. I presume will be back, or at least I'd put money on each of those players coming back. What do you think about the Betts addition if she's joining that group?
Yeah, and this is just not even the bias because I've covered UCLA this past season, but I mean 6'7", you can't be, especially now with Jessica Shepard. Now it is confirmed she's not coming back. And then Lan is sort of up in the air, even though we speculate she should be back. We're thin in the post. Masha's gone. She got taken in the expansion. But who couldn't use 6'7", right? And then we saw what she did in the tournament run. I mean, you could see offensively, where she can take over a game. That block that she had on Booker that, helped them, take them to the championship game in the Final Four. So, yeah, defensively, rim protection, rebounding. I mean, you just, if she's there at 2, I think you guys talked about it, depending on what Dallas does, if they take AZ, at 1, then, yeah, I would hope that Cheryl would look into taking Betts at 2. I mean, we definitely need that size.
Yeah, Terry, I'll throw it over to you because you're more into the college and scouting thing than I am. Where are you kind of sitting at with Betts after the tournament run? Because I feel like we've been pretty similar where it's Fam goes 1, AZ goes 2, but now things are complicated.
Yeah, things are complicated, and especially where where we are right now at 12:47 a.m. Central Time in the wee hours of April 11th. The Lynx have 4 players, so you could pretty much take anyone and pencil it in. I think, at least for me, no matter who they take, I'll be okay, I can see it.
Yeah,
there's upside and there's questions with everyone in the top 5. If Dallas went AZ, I do think I would be most intrigued to see them go Fam. I think she's good enough now to where she can help you now, and also this sort of lifts the the high end for the future more as well. And you might be taking a little bit more of a risk, but I would just love to see it. But I'm not going to be mad about Lauren Betts coming in here, especially with the posts who have left. And also we'd have to, it's probably been said on this stream before I got on, there is about a month or so we're going to have to navigate the season without fee. So just kind of the more post help, the better. So I don't think you could be mad at Cheryl for going Betts. But if Fam's there, that's kind of where I would go. But also, the players like Olivia Miles and Fudd, I have it on pretty good authority that Cheryl really likes Kiki Rice's game. Do you trade down to try and get Kiki Rice as your point guard of the future? Maybe with Chicago, who has been known to be kind of fleaceable. I think, going from 2 to 5,
2028 first rounder from Chicago.
Going from 2 to 5 is, okay, that's not as flashy, but anytime you make a trade with Chicago, you kind of got to be happy if you're not Chicago, right? So I do think it's Lynx fans are stressed out today. I think Monday night it will be kind of like, all right, I don't think any of these players have given anyone a reason to be like, absolutely not. This person will not be good. It'll be exciting. If it's Miles, it'll be exciting. If it's Fudd, it'll be exciting. If there's a trade, we'll hear from Cheryl very soon after the draft to get some close to the vest thoughts about the thought process there. So I think it's kind of any direction is a positive one, and I'm just excited to see what they do with it.
And this is the portion of a podcast where I say, Cheryl, you have the last pick in the draft. Why not draft Amaya Battle? Keep the hometown kid home. I've been told her dad works for the Timberwolves. Like, they could have like lunch together at Target Center. Like, just Amaya Battle. I'm not saying, but it'd be a good story. And she's a really good human being. So probably
there's a brand new deli just opened in the Skyway around Target Center too. That's gotten rave reviews. So the food options around have gotten even better.
Amaya Battle and Papa Battle can go grab some sandwiches after practices. It's a wholesome story. And also I do think Amaya Battle, like, I don't know if it'll be like next year. I don't know if it'll be like 4 years from now. At some point, like, she's going to have a WNBA moment. Like, that kid's just, she's a survivor. King of B, I want to throw it over to you. Like, again, like, from your perspective, I guess, what would you be like? Is there anyone that they draft that you would feel like kind of disappointed with, or anyone that they draft where you kind of scratch your head and wonder what the heck is going on?
I haven't been really following college, but I think that second spot, I think it's such a sweet spot because you literally can't lose. Whatever Dallas does, you are positioned in getting the, like, there's an array of players that you can pick from. So there's not a wrong choice to make. And I haven't been following college, and besides listening to you and other people, like, I don't really know much about the college players, but I think that second spot is such a sweet spot of, like, Dallas's pick basically just opens the doors to see what you can do. But I think that second spot is really great in a really deep, what seems like a really deep draft class. So I don't think we can lose or pick.
I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna be honest, Terry. The thought of trading down for Kiki Rice intrigues me because I got to
for $1 billion future first that Chicago will be so willing to part with.
Maybe they can get Angel Reese still.
If you can get.
Should have waited to the
Chicago
draft. Maybe
Sky on the phone.
Traded the 5th for the 8th, or the 2nd for the 5th, and got Angel.
Great long con.
I got to see Kiki Rice play the Gophers in person on her birthday, where she just eviscerated the Gophers defense, running pick and roll after pick and roll after pick and roll, and just hitting mid range after mid range after mid range. And like, I had kind of put the possibility of that happening out of my mind, just because, like, I've been so on the FUD train of like, oh, that just makes sense. Like, K-Mac's getting older, get K-Mac replacement in, let her learn under the crew, like, solid defender. But like if trading down a couple spots and getting Kiki Rice is on play, like I almost like that better. Nicole, you're nodding a lot, and I know UCLA has been your beats all winter. Like, what do you like about Kiki Rice?
Yeah. Oh, I'm a big Kiki fan. Again, just following and covering UCLA this whole season. I love her aggressiveness. So playmaking ability, obviously we know that. She's great on defense as well. I know Cheryl would love that, but she can drive to the basket. She likes to draw contact and get some and ones. She's a great free throw shooter as well. So, that's where she can get her points and stuff. I just love her aggressiveness. Not being afraid to get in there and like I said, draw contact and stuff. And I think that could be so useful on this Lynx squad. But yeah, I think she would be I know we were talking about potential point guards. I love Kiki's game and I think she would be a great fit for the Lynx. And yeah, trading down potentially, I would love that. So that is an option if, let's say if we don't want to do, because again, with free agent, maybe we do get another post player, a big name post player at that, outside of re-signing Lan or something within these next few days, then maybe Betts or Fam, we go in that different direction and maybe look to fill a point guard or backup point guard position now that T is gone. So I love Kiki, but yeah, hopefully that might be something.
I have been thoroughly talked in. I think that's my new hope is like, hey, you can get my favorite player and also fleece Chicago again. The pettiness would be great. The long-term ramifications would be great. Terry, what are you thinking right now, though?
Well, King and B, what was your thought there?
I think there are some rumors out there that like Chicago might be like kind of putting some picks away to get Juju Watkins next year. So there are rumors that something they're maneuvering to get together some picks or something to get Juju Watkins. Right. So maybe they're smartening up.
Right. Well, the Chicago Sky have been the champions of next offseason for like 5 years running. So I'm sure that's what they're trying to do. And I was going to say, you got to make sure that those future picks are Chicago's picks and not Atlanta's picks, because Atlanta looks like they're going to be pretty strong, at least for the next couple seasons. So you're picking at the bottom of the first round if you're getting the picks attached to Atlanta. So yeah, you would need to see the offer. But I think Olivia Miles is really special on the offensive end, and it's obviously to get excited about that. But there are major questions with her defensive game, and Kiki might be more ready to play right now, might have a higher floor. So we'll see. I'm not going to be mad no matter what happens. But Andrew, I know you and I and a bunch of other media, we're all going to be at the draft party on Monday night. And I'm just, I want to make sure that wherever we're watching when the Lynx are on the clock, that we're at least like close to a door so that if people are like, you have to go up there and ask Cheryl about this, like, I'm just going to I'm stepping out of there really quick. But if everyone's excited, then that's a room I want to be in for a long time. So it's going to be, it's going to be fun. Yeah. And like, maybe it's an even bigger trade, like the pick for a player kind of thing. Like it's almost 1 a.m. now. Let's get crazy, guys. And like, it's something that we're not even thinking about right now. Like Cheryl's already thought about it like 4 times over at least. So it's going to be, the next 72 hours are going to be crazy.
I mean, the pick is like, obviously next year's second round pick or second overall pick is probably going to be a little bit bigger than this one, I would say, but like, yeah, I think that pick's going to have a ton of value. I just don't know, like what
it would have to be a blow away kind of offer.
Because like you're not doing a sign in trade for anyone this offseason because like everyone's a free agent, so it'd have to be someone like on a rookie contract, maybe like a certain former Amaya Battle teammate that plays for the Wings. Terry?
Former Amaya Battle teammate. But
a Hopkins grad that we all know and love.
Oh. Yeah. All right. Yeah. Number 2 for Paige. Yeah, that's perfect.
Number 2, done. Ola and Dorka for Paige. Who says no?
Dallas, but not
God,
me.
Harry, you're supposed to at least think about it for a second.
And Dorka, whoa. We're
Yeah,
already
no,
thin. We're already thin at the post.
5-guard lineup. Four guards and fee. Like that's perfect.
I really appreciate Abby saying I like Ola though. Fair. Yeah, I'm not gonna argue with that.
No,
We all do. Hey, what? I'm
Great
sure
is
this
a
isn't gonna
no-go from the Lynx. No Ola, no Page.
This would be the real scoop, Andrew. How is Ola's driving education going to continue without Masha in market?
I've heard that she has her license, so maybe that was the play. It's like, well, we don't need Masha anymore.
Masha got
Ola
it.
can
She
drive.
passed the driver's test. Okay. I'll never forget the day Masha told us, "Watch out on the roads. I'm taking Ola out driving," and I was like, "Masha, that was in perfect English. You've been sandbagging us this whole time."
It is.
But that was a while ago, so she's probably gotten some time out on the road. So
she's probably
shout
fine.
out Ola.
Shout out to Ola, who I am still like excited about. I will say I have irrational excitement about Ola.
So the hypothetical of the number 2 and Ola and Dorka for Page, you're saying no at this point.
Oh, I would say yes immediately. You wander out a lineup of Court. Let's see here. So we'd have Court, Page, K-Mac, Fee, and Lan. Like, yeah, just sign me up. Figure the rest out later.
That's who we're paying. That's who we're paying. That's why we're letting everybody go. Everybody walk in free agency because we're waiting for that.
I do like Abby's thought. Maybe, call Ola. Hey, did you get your license yet? And then just pull the protection off of Masha.
Yeah.
And she does mention Jalen Sherrod is. I expect her. I don't think she'll be getting like a crazy offer from somewhere. So
Jalen Sherrod.
I really like Jalen Sherrod. Like the couple times we talked to her last year too.
She's incredibly smart player.
She gets it. Nicole, are you covering the Lynx this season still?
Yes, I will be. Yep.
Okay, cool. I was going to ask you this regardless. I just got out of order in me asking you questions, but like kind of what would be your ideal free agents or like addition that they bring into this team? Again, assuming that like Dorka, Jalen, Ola are your backup, 3 of your whatever backups, and then you have your Court, Mac, Fee, and Lan for some returning.
Definitely trying to get Dejanay Carrington re-signed as well. And then possibly she can fill in to the starting wing spot for Bridget. So that'll fill out your starting lineup. And then I think I had mentioned this back in December when we had discussed it, and especially now with it kind of catching a little bit more fire with the Gabby Williams. I had called it. I would love if we could land Gabby Williams. Now with if we do, then possibly Nay, like keep her in that, coming off the bench role and maybe have Gabby as the starter. Because I loved how Nay, what she brought when she came off the bench, when they switched her in maybe for Bridget. And, Cheryl doesn't do a hockey line change. She'll keep starters in and just, one by one, she'll switch out a starter for somebody. And so Nay can still play with some starters and stuff. But if we could at least get re-signed Dejanay and at least get Gabby Williams, I would feel more comfortable going into the draft than, maybe Awa Fam or maybe Betts. Maybe we don't, as far as AZ, maybe, the shooting isn't necessary. Maybe we could go Olivia Miles, maybe for a backup point guard. So I would feel more comfortable going into Monday's draft if we can lock in Dejanay and Gabby. So we'll see.
Yeah, King of B, we're losing a stud bud, but like if Dejanay comes back, does that at least make up for one of the stud buds leaving?
It does. It definitely does. Because do I have that scenario in my head that Courtney is just going to do stud buds with Dejanay and then just like move over to a different platform and just have T call in for the third person? I think that still works. However we can make the stud buds things thing happen. I think that works. I love Dejanay's game. It was so much fun seeing her, and she also has that, grit. And you talked about how she picked up her contacts of the
insane
of the court and put it in her eye.
Shout out John Krasinski. He was on that post game live with me, and even John was just like, "That was the most insane thing I've ever seen a human do." Like, like just wild. Terry, you've been on the Dejanay fan club for a while. I
Yes.
don't think that's a secret. I will say when she got traded here and the first press conference, she's talking about like the difference in like funneling, the difference in like how the defense funnels players compared to like Dallas from being here with the Lynx, and is like actually talking about like defensive strategy stuff. She's like a ridiculously smart player, which I'm going to be honest, I did not know that until she got here.
Yeah, and how defense can turn into offense. And I think we unfortunately didn't get to see that full manifestation with her getting hurt in that game 2 against the Velks and how that could have made a difference in the playoffs. But there really weren't there. She really was the only player who was like north and south rim runner on this team.
Yeah.
So I think that was kind of my first thought was when Bridget went with the first pick in the expansion draft, which we're kind of all expecting that, like, okay, this is the time where like Bridget moves elsewhere. We all thought it was gonna be Toronto and not Portland. So there's a little bit of sticker shock with the fire logo next to her face and not the tempo. But my first thought was just like, okay, I think the Lynx will try to do some form of running it back, and you can just slot Dejanay into that spot. So with them, if they were like Nicole, you just mentioned, if they signed Gabby and Dejanay, which I think would be incredible. I'm trying to, I'm doing the like back of the napkin math of like, all right, who starts if like all of these hypothetical signings happen? Could you maybe sell Dejanay on another thing? Or like, okay, so K-Mac's going to start at the 2, Gabby's going to start at the 3. You will still play a ton, and you can slot into, both of those, and she can defend some 4s too. So you can play Dejanay all over the place, and she really brings that element of, getting up the floor and attacking the rim that no one else really does. There's like the Lynx don't create a lot of, free throw opportunities or like get to the line much, and Dejanay does. So I think if you get Gabby, then great. That's kind of the big free agent prize that's left out there. With whatever, this remaining cap room you got, I would throw a significant chunk at Dejanay to solidify that bench unit. And hopefully she's open to that. I think she's, someone who could start at a lot of places, but I mean, she knows the system. It works for her well, and this will be a contending team if you have Dejanay Carrington as the 6th player coming off the bench. So I think it would make a lot of sense, but yeah, I hope Cheryl is awake right now, working those phone lines on selling not only Gabby, but Dejanay too. And then that's also more insurance if K-Mac gets hit with an injury, or if Gabby were to sign here and go down. Like you need that quality depth for all those different reasons. So I would love to see Dejanay back. And yeah, as you mentioned, I've been a card carrying member of the Dejanay fan club since day one. So love to see Nay back in Minnesota.
Dejanay, I feel like, gave them everything they wanted out of Diamond, but just like right away, like without the weird Diamond stuff where she like dribbles the ball off her knee or like misses like shot. Like it's just Dejanay is a known commodity that's already ready to go. I think the other thing is just like the Lynx just kind of needed some like feistiness last year. Like I often talk about it with the Wolves too, of like they just kind of need an asshole on their team. And Dejanay is a delightful person. Dejanay, if anyone in your camp is listening to this for some reason at 1 a.m. on YouTube, you're a delightful person. I genuinely enjoyed talking to you a ton this year. But on the court, she's kind of an asshole. And like you just like teams need that. You need someone that's just gonna like step on opposing players' feet or like go for that extra loose ball and like throw an elbow in there. And like the Lynx just didn't really have that last year or the year before. And it was refreshing to see those games with Dejanay where it's just like they had that feistiness, which Nicole, maybe I'm wording it wrong, but like I feel like that's just something she brings, right?
No, absolutely. I mean, I think her game when she was with Connecticut, that was I mean, she, the seatbelt, little celebration thing that she does when she makes a defensive play. Was it last year or something? She did a chase down on somebody and hit a block on like a bigger. I was like, how did she?
Yeah,
I think
left hand too.
It was
yes.
Wasn't that on Gabby?
Was
it
it?
on
It might have
Gabby?
been.
It was in Seattle. I can't remember if it was on Gabby, but it was in Seattle. Could have
Was
been
it like her
Friday?
because I think her first game was Seattle. I can't remember, but it was insane.
As a Lynx, yeah, it was wild. It was so
and right then and there, that is her game. She is defensive, like yes, and like you said, that nastiness in the game. She definitely fit in well with the Lynx. When that trade went down was. Yeah, I'm so glad that we were able to, and Carly Samuelson really enjoyed her until she went down with her injury and stuff. And shout out to her. I know her recovery. I've been following her recovery on TikTok and stuff, so it's good to see her back up. But for Carly and Diamond, for Dejanay was huge, and especially at the time because it came right when Fee had just went down at the Aces game, and so we needed that. And I was even thinking about it too, like, yeah, when she went down early in the playoffs, we could have really used her during that Phoenix series, the physicality and things like that. And like you said, that lack of bench depth, right? Because when Fee eventually went down in game 3 of that semifinals, and we didn't have Dejanay, I knew going in, I was actually at game 4 in Phoenix. God bless K-Mac, at the oldest player on our team, right, at 33. And she literally put up 31 points herself. And I think Court put up 20, trying to help out, but there just wasn't anybody else that could step up offensively and to really help. So yeah, having her back and having Dejanay back, with a fresh start at the start of the season, and to have her with us all season, I think would be tremendous. So yeah, but Dejanay, her defense is just what I am sold on. And then of course, like you said, that defense to offense transition, she's great in that as well. She's another one that likes to, draw contact. She's great at free throws. So yeah, who couldn't use that?
All right. Well, we are first. Nicole, completely agree. I shouldn't just be like, all right, let's dismiss.
No, you're good. Look, you guys are right. I'm still I'm on Friday. It's still 11 o'clock my time, so it's Friday over here still.
Well, I am going to say an hour and 10 minutes into this, we are going to call it. I might be going live again tomorrow. If a bunch of signings come out, I'll come out and just hang out with people because I enjoy hanging out with the delightful Lynx fans. But we've had like over 100 people in here concurrently for most of this stream at midnight to 1 a.m. on a Saturday.
Y'all are crazy. Go to bed.
Lynx fans are insane. So thank you guys for showing up, hanging out with us. Kinga, you've been here the longest, so I'm going to start with you. Where can people find you? I know you're going to be doing a ton of Lynx stuff this season, but please plug all the lovely work you do.
Yes, so mostly I do my hot takes over on TikTok at Kingaby, so you can find me there, and yeah, that's mostly where I
am. Nicole, you mentioned you're covering the Lynx this season. Where can people find you?
Yeah, so I'm doing it. So I do work with the Best Damn W show, but I'm doing kind of a sub thing with Los Lynx Nation. So that's where I'm going to be doing my Lynx coverage. So you can find me on IG at Los Lynx Nation. And yeah, so that's where I'll be doing all of my coverage.
Awesome. And Terry, you're going to be seeing me all season, but for people who have no clue who you are, I don't know how they couldn't, because I think you're the longest tenured person on the Lynx beat now, but where can people find you, Terry?
Definitely not. Longest tenured between the two of us by a year. Charles Hellman, Pat Boise, shout out those two guys. It's still got me beat by quite a bit, but at terryhorseman.bsky.whatever on Blue Sky. And at Terrence Horseman on Instagram, everything at the 9 Sports, the 9 Basketball, and at hittingthehardwood.com, writing stuff with Andrew and Mitchell all season. And as Andrew mentioned earlier at the top, there will be a book about this season coming out in the future. So it's already off to a crazy start. I won't know how the book goes until the season happens, but it's happening. I'm working with a great publisher. So that will be, happening all year. So if you see me around Target Center or whatever, and I appear stressed out, it's because of this looming deadline for this project. But I'm very excited about it, and it's already off to a pretty wild start, and I can't wait to write about it and write about it more. So yeah, hitting the hardwood, the 9 sports, the main spots, and just chipping away at a big time project. So very excited. Hope we get some players in soon, because it'd be a lonely media day with the current crop that we've got right now.
I mean, I could talk to Ola for a while. She's fun.
Have you been working on your Russian?
I don't know how much.
Have you been on Russian Duolingo?
No, I someone did teach me how to say like good morning in Russian, and I was just like, we normally see them in the afternoon. This is going to be useless. But anyways, that's my problem.
I'll teach you Hungarian. You're good.
Is it close enough?
Yeah.
Will they understand?
Well, Dorka's Hungarian. Yeah.
Dorka's Hungarian.
Right.
I am going to learn how to speak to Dorka. Not you know what I mean.
Dorka's English is better than all of ours already. So, but she'll appreciate it. We'll greet Dorka in Hungarian, and she'll be like, "Oh, like I'll answer this in Hungarian now." I'll be like, "Oh, that's the limit."
We don't know.
Still, it'll be a nice gesture.
Yeah, I feel like I needed my Hungarian card revoked, because it took me until like now to realize that there were 2 Shepards on the team, because Dorka's last name translates to Shepard also.
Really?
So,
I didn't know that. Okay.
Huh.
Yuhas means Shepard. That's how I got my last name, is I translated my Hungarian last name into English, because I couldn't have 2 names that people couldn't pronounce or spell.
Wow.
There's nothing that makes me feel more American than hearing how immigrants have to change one of their names because we'd get too confused. I mean, that's just so on brand. What was your last name? Now I'm curious.
Subble, which means Taylor. So.
Oh.
Okay.
Subble?
It's Szabo. That is
Subble. Okay.
Okay. Well, after that, thank you, Kinga. I will be hitting you up to learn how to say at least like "hey" in Hungarian, and then not butcher it. But for people that don't want to learn Hungarian, this pod is about to end at some point. As soon as I hit end stream, if you came in late, it will be up over on YouTube and X, Living On Forever. I plan to have it come out at 7 a.m. this morning for people that want to listen back to part of it or make fun of us or clip stuff or whatever you guys do with this once it comes out. But thanks everyone for listening. Again, we'll be trying to give you at least I'm guessing me and Terry will be going live post draft to at least talk about what happened. But
there'll be a new episode of Lynx Happy Hour tomorrow at some point too, depending on when things happen. But it's like, I'll react now, but like, okay, there's another rumor, let's give it another hour. It's like, let's give it another hour. But I promise weekly episodes, and tomorrow's the last day of the week, so there'll be an episode at some point tomorrow.
Awesome. Thanks everyone for listening. We'll catch you next time.
Thanks everybody. Good night.